Okay, today we're going to do Unit 3, Notes number 9, which is our recursive rule. So we're going to be talking about the recursive rule today and tomorrow, and then next week we'll be talking about the explicit rule. So with the recursive rule, there's going to be a certain formula, and you guys will get the formula for the test and the quiz. So for arithmetic, we have a sub 1 equals. The a sub 1 will equal what we call your first term. And then you'll have a sub n equals a n minus 1 plus your d. Your d is where your common difference will be. So if you look at this example, 10 is our first term, and then our common difference is 2. So that means we start with 10, and we're adding up by 2 each time. So each time, the common difference is added to the previous term to get the nth term, or to get the next term. So for geometric, you'll have g sub 1 equals your first term. And then your ratio is actually right before the g. So you'll have your common ratio right here. So common difference is at the end, common ratio is at the beginning. So if we look at our example, our first term is 5, and then our common ratio is 3. So we're multiplying by 3 each time. So each time, the previous term is multiplied by the common ratio. To get the next term. Okay, so keep that in mind. You will not, so you'll be given the formula, but you have to know where this information is going to be. So let's go down to the table. First, we have to write arithmetic or geometric. So this first one, we can see that there's an A. So it's arithmetic. Our first term is stated specifically. So our first term is 8. Since this is arithmetic, we have a common difference. Our common difference on this one is going to be added on the end, so it's going to be plus 5. Next one, we see that it's a G. So it's geometric. Our first term is the one that's listed, which is 1. Geometric, you have a common ratio. This ratio is going to be listed before the G, and it is going to be 7. Next one, we have arithmetic. Because there's an A. Your 3 is your first term. Then the negative 4 is going to be our common difference. Make sure we put that negative in front of that 4. And then last one, we have G, so it's geometric. Our first term is 6, and then it's going to be a 1/2 common ratio. So hopefully that makes quite a bit of sense. Let me know if you guys have any questions on that. So going down to our next example, it says write the first 4 terms of the arithmetic sequence defined by the recursive rule. So our first term is negative 3. I know I'm going to have to write 4 terms, so I'm going to draw my lines. Negative 3 is going to go first, and then I'm adding 4 each time. So I need to add 4 to 3. That's going to give me 1. Add 4 again. It's going to give me 5. Add 4 again, and that's going to give me 9. So those are my first 4 terms. On B, I'm going to draw my 4 lines again. My first term is 18, and I'm subtracting 7 each time. We need 11. 11 minus 7 is 4. 4 minus 7 is negative 3. And you guys can use your calculators to find these terms. Okay, let me know if you guys have any questions on that. Let's move on to the back page. Okay, it says given the recursive rule, find the 4th term. So we can honestly just draw our 4 lines. and we will fill them in. So 14 is our first term, and we're subtracting 2. So we're going to get 12, and then 12 minus 2 is 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. So our fourth term is going to be 8. So our fourth term equals 8. Okay, let's go down to the next part. It says match the given sequence to their following rules. So the first one, we can see that we're going down, but we're going down by so we're multiplying to go down. So this would be multiplying by 1/2. So when we can see we're subtracting 2. So when we're adding 2, and this one it looks like we're multiplying by 2. Okay, so the first one, since multiplying by 1/2, it has to be G. So it has to be B or C. So whichever one has a common ratio of 1/2. So that one would have to be C. The other geometric is going to be the one at the bottom, which is going to be B, because it has a common ratio of B. Cross those 2 off. Next, arithmetic. So we have the first one is +2, so that would be match with the third one. The other one is -2, so it would match with D. Okay, so be careful with those. I kind of went through those kind of quick. Just make sure you're able to find the pattern. If you need help, let us know. Okay, the next part says write the first 4 terms of the geometric sequence defined by the recursive rule. So I'm going to draw my 4 lines. I start with 2, and then I'm multiplying by 3. So 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 6 is 18. 18 times 3 is, I can't remember this off the top of my head, is 54. There's my first 4 terms. Next one, draw my 4 lines. Our first term is 9, and we're multiplying by 1/3 each time. So 1/3 of 9 would be 3. 1/3 of 3 would be 1. And 1/3 of 1 would be 1/3. Sounds a little bit trickier, so you can always type it in your calculator, 9 times 1/3, and that'll give you the next number. Example 6, it says, given the recursive rule, find the 4th term. So we again just have to do our lines. We're starting with 128, and we are multiplying by 1/2. So half of 128 is 64. Half of 64 is 32. And half of 32 is 16. So our first term is 16. Okay, and then going down to the bottom, we have another matching section. So we go from 9 to 6 to 3 to 0, so it looks like we're subtracting 3. We go from 9 to 12 to 15 to 18, we're adding 3. We go from 9 to 3 to 1 to 1/3, so we're multiplying by a fraction, we're multiplying by 1/3. Then we go 9 to 27 to 81 to 243, we're multiplying by 3. Okay. So the top 2, since we're adding or subtracting, are going to be arithmetic. So let's find those. So the first one, arithmetic, and we're plussing 3. So that would have to go to the second one. And the other arithmetic is minusing 3. So that would be C. Now let's do our geometric. We're multiplying by 1/3. Look at where your common ratio is. This one's 1/3. And then this one's 3, which is right there. Okay, let me know if you guys have any questions on this, and you guys can get started on your homework.